Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Today I want to install the AG-74 Pro pistol grip in place of the AGR-47. These are extremely similar names, which is great, but I wanted to get this pistol grip because the one thing I don't like about this, well actually I guess two things about this FAB Defense that I don't like the AGR-47 here is the first is it's a little too narrow at the top. One issue I had, so before I had this AGR-47 on here, I had an ATI grip on here, and the problem with that one is it was too thick at the top to where it would always force my hand to hit the hinge here, and it was very uncomfortable. But the other thing I don't like about this is that I have to use some sort of object to get into it. The thing about this custom arms one here is it does have a storage compartment, but I can just open it by hand rather than having to use like a round, like a cartridge, or in my case, an Allen key to open this up, which we do have to do here to get this one uninstalled. So getting that open. Also, before I forget, this AG-74, I do like having these finger grooves generally. However, they do have a version, Custom Arms has a version of this that does not have the grooves in it. That's just a, it just goes straight down. I believe that's called the AG-105. If I'm wrong about that, I'll put it up on the screen here, but I think this will be pretty comfortable. We'll find out. If it doesn't work out well on this rifle, if this one ends up forcing my hand to hit the hinge as well, then I will just put this on my wasser. So let's get started, and I will need to go grab an Allen key. This one did not come with it, but it does have a hex key that I need to use to install it. And here's the storage kit. So I'm going to go grab the Allen key and whatever bit I need to get the AGR-47 out, and we'll get started here. And this is just how the storage compartment looks. We'll see how well it works in just a sec. So just a regular on-installation process. Oh, and also I am using a 3/16 inch Allen key. This isn't actually the perfect size. I believe these are metric. I don't know if it says anywhere. I'll check in a sec. But you probably can't see that on the video. There's a little bit of play in this because it isn't a perfect fit, but it is a tight enough fit to where it'll install this. Ideally, I would use a metric, but I don't have one, so should be coming loose any second now. I'll show it better once I get this out, but there's a little T-nut that I'm trying to hold in place with my right hand here. It's a little annoying to get it realigned if it does fall out. It's not the end of the world. It's fairly easy to get realigned. There's a few tricks to it, but ideally, I just won't let it fall out in the first place. Well, that was a really long screw. Now let's get to putting this new one on. So we have to... I wish I knew a better way to do this. It would probably work well to have a magnetic head here, but basically what I got to do is drop this down through that hole there, and then I can get it lined up with the T-nut here, which I almost just knocked out of place. But you can see this is the T-nut it needs to screw into. This just sits, just right there, and then the screw will come up through the receiver. Hey, I got it. Nice. So now that I got this lined up, I'm going to try not to let it slip out too much. Ideally, I would have 3 hands at this point, but I don't, so that's all right. But I gotta kind of hold this through here while holding the T-nut in place so it also doesn't pop out. And also I need to make sure not to get this too far out to where I can't even start it. I remember having a lot of trouble on my ATI grip with it wanting to cross thread constantly. But it seems like I'm either getting better at this or this one isn't as bad. Feels like it started, or maybe I'm just doing nothing at all. I actually do have it lined up. This is just another very long screw. It's tightening up. I don't want to over-tighten it, but it is annoying to have a loose pistol grip, but it looks like, feels like, let me hold this down a bit better. Feels like this is nice and tight. Don't feel it moving around anywhere. So let me take a look at the grip, or rather, let me feel the grip. Yeah, ooh, that's nice. This does not force my thumb. That was the issue with this ATI, I believe it was the ATI Scorpion grip, was it forced my thumb up with the grip angle and kind of just where the bulk of the grip was, where the material was. It forced my hand into here. This one is nice and, I guess, more flat than the ATI one was up here. And, ooh, yeah, that's nice. It doesn't force my hand up too much. And also the other good thing is I do like these finger grooves. I think that they add extra comfort when you're holding the rifle. But only if your hand, of course, only if your fingers actually line up with the grooves. And in my case, they do perfectly, so that's super comfortable. So far this is looking really good. One thing I do like that this doesn't have, though, is I really do like rubberized grips. They give me such a, it's such an improvement. It's just a little thing. This AG-74, I literally had to look at the bag again because there's way too many. They're almost the exact same name. Just flipping the numbers around and stuff. But this is just hard plastic. Very similar in feel to like Magpul furniture, whereas this is, of course, rubber coated, which I do really, really like. But of course, as I was mentioning, there's some other issues with this, but I'm going to keep using this. I'm going to put this on my other AK. Anyway, back to this. Now we've got to put this storage compartment on here. I'm not sure how this works. You know, I was saying that it looked like I could, I think I see how this works, and I was saying that I could probably do this with my hands, but this is pretty tight. They do have a little notch in the bottom here, so I could turn this with like a coin, or I guess a battery as well, but I should be able to loosen this with this screw here, but we'll see. Hopefully it's loose enough to be able to turn it by hand. I would hate to, you know, this is kind of the main reason I bought another grip, and if that doesn't work, then, well, it's still a good grip, but that'll be a bit disappointing. So I'm going to go get another screwdriver, and I'll get this loosened up a bit. Okay, looks like I actually loosened that up a little bit too much, but, yeah, that's probably a bit too loose now, but, okay, let's get this tightened up again. I actually don't even need an electric screwdriver here. I'm totally doing this by hand and it works better. It's way too much torque to actually use this. Alright, so I think that's a pretty good balance now. It takes deliberate effort to turn it, but it's not so tight to where I almost physically can't even do it by hand. So now I believe we'll have to have it kind of turned this way, and then it looks like once it's in place I can turn it like that and it should lock in. So if you can see, there's you can't see it on this side, but it is on both sides. There's a little tab, and this looks like it'll just sit in that. So yeah, then I take that and I just turn it. I did not turn it enough. Hey, nice. That is, it has a little bit of a wobble, but it's actually more solid than I thought it would be. Nice. And yeah, it takes a deliberate effort to turn it, but I might be able to loosen it just a tiny bit more, but it's not bad. I can definitely do this by hand, so cool. All right. So that's on there. I'm just going to do a bit of weapon handling stuff off camera, and I'll come back in just a sec to give my impressions on how this feels. So far, though, seems pretty good just from the few things I did on the table here. This, I mean, aesthetically, you know, not too great that it goes over the plate here. As you can see, you can see a bit of a gap there, but that really doesn't matter. The ATI did that as well. It's just kind of what happens when you have a bit of a bigger grip, which I do prefer. I have a bit larger hands. So the AGR-47 from FAB Defense. This one did, however, sit very flush. But at any rate, see you all in a sec. So far, this grip is being really comfortable too. No problems with it. I'm not feeling any more recoil like I was kind of mentioning with rubberized grips versus a hard plastic. This is all good and it's really, really comfortable. Alright, so I have been handling this AG-74 grip quite a bit now, just, you know, doing some stuff, just practicing weapon handling and all that. And I am surprised. It's very, very comfortable. I quite like this. I was pretty concerned about the fact that it's not rubber. As I mentioned, I do really like the rubber grips but even though it's not rubber, it's still really comfortable, especially with the finger grooves. You know, if you do have a different sized hand and it doesn't match up, I do suspect it would be extremely uncomfortable. But luckily, in my case, it does match up, and so when I go to grip it, it's really, really comfortable as a result. I was also testing out a bit with the storage compartment, and I'll probably end up putting some batteries or something in here. For the time being, I don't have anything in it at all, but it's nice and easy to take off, as you can see. And it doesn't require tools, which is the big issue I had with the FAB Defense one. One thing on the note of this one being, it's just a regular hard plastic, as I was saying. It's not rubber. There is some validity to the claim that a lot of companies make when they advertise their pistol grips, rubberized pistol grips, that they can reduce recoil or reduce felt recoil. So I think you'd probably feel more recoil on your palm if you're shooting something without a stock, or I guess in my case, if I had the stock on this folded, then I might feel more recoil. And now that I have a hard pistol grip, then maybe I would feel more in this part of my hand here. But I really think that, well, I'm not going to, actually, because this is a 5.45 and I have this gigantic muzzle brake on it. So in my specific case, that won't be an issue. But just thinking about like the 7.62s, the 7.62 by 39s and all that, because most AKs here in America at least are the 7.62 variant. Those do have a bit more felt recoil to them. No surprise, they're bigger caliber. So as a result, you know, especially with something like those micro Dracos or mini Dracos, where they don't normally come with a stock, or I guess any pistol AK, you might want a better, really rubberized pistol grip. In which case, in fact, going way back in my channel's history to the first pistol grip video I did on that ATI one, that would probably be a good bet in your case if you're going with one of those types of AKs. But the reason I don't have that one anymore is because it did break. So that is something to consider. I think I installed it wrong. Not to get too sidetracked, I'm pretty sure I did install that wrong because I didn't put a washer in and it ended up cracking through. But at any rate, just something to keep in mind. Either way, I think this is a phenomenal pistol grip. Just, you know, I would prefer if it was, like, if this exact pistol grip, I really like the shape of this. It fits my hand incredibly well. If this was rubberized, this would probably be the best, you know, just god tier pistol grip. But since it isn't rubberized, I would prefer if it was, but it's not that bad. The finger grooves kind of make up for that with how comfortable they are. But overall, I would recommend this grip for sure. It's not that expensive. I think it was only $25 from Ivan Tactical. Of course, you've got shipping when you're buying from Russia, but overall, I really like this grip. And even though it isn't rubberized, which I keep coming back to, I think everything else about it is a lot better than the FAB Defense. The FAB Defense one was actually a little bit small for my hands, but you know, it fit pretty well. But the big thing for me was just the storage compartment. Now I can finally access it without having to look for a pen or a cartridge or something small and pointy to just get it open every single time. You might think that it's not that big of an issue to have to use it, because that's what I thought when I first got the FAB Defense one. It was like, oh, you have to open the storage compartment using a bullet or, you know, some sort of tipped object. That's kind of annoying, but it makes sense because I'll always have rounds with me when I have the gun. And that has more often than not been true, because so much of the time I'm like doing maintenance and I need to get in there, or I need to get a battery from inside of there, and I don't have a mag loaded at the time and I've already walked away from where my ammo is. So tons of situations where it's just easier to just be able to screw off, or I guess take off in whatever way, the storage compartment by hand. So good pistol grip, I would say. That's all I've got for this video then. So thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know if you have any other questions. Let me know if you have any other videos you want me to do. I would be glad to do them. Or, you know, any other questions. So thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.